consciousazine.com Chronicles. So in just preparing the coffee tea mixture, I'm just, with bits of tea in there. So that's cascara and cascara de molle or molle, and it's a tree bark, and these are the best things for cutting your mucosa membrane. There's no sugar like with lemon. Some people recommend lemon for cutting the mucosa membrane, but I don't, because it can, via amorphous sugar assimilation feed other parasites and like candidas and stuff like that. So lemon gives me parasitical reaction, and yeah, it cuts down the mucosa membrane, but I think the tree barks are better with their antifungal, antiviral compounds. They're very heavy in those compounds, and they really seem to cut the mucosa membrane. And when you're cutting the mucosa membrane, you're trying to also, you're cutting it back to reveal the bacteria in there, to kill them with these sort of compounds, like these plant tannins, these saponins, these, all these alkaloids and stuff in the barks. And you could do it with leaves and stuff. You could add leaves, but I like it with the bark. It's very tasteless and doesn't add, like if you put spinach in, I'm sure you'll ruin the coffee. So yeah, I've just got the tree barks in there, and I put it with the coffee, and then once it's cooled down, that's my cool portion for the smoothie, so that it's cool as well, and so I don't have to add ice cubes necessarily to make a really nice like cool smoothie on a summer's day, for instance. So also in the coffee I have pre-mixed like bits of stevia. You'll see little specks there. Those little specks of green are actually stevia in the coffee. I have really good Colombian coffee here, so like that's the only reason I'm making it like this, and I just thought up this recipe this morning. Then what I'm going to do, what I did and what I'll do again on this video, is put the chia in, just some chia seed, only a little bit, because you don't want to, and you want to drink your smoothie fresh, but you don't want to put in the freezer and get that gel consistency to your smoothie, because then it's like annoying to finish. And then I'm going to put it, so you only put a little bit of chia in, and then you just do that every day, and you get that little bit of spark of magnesium from it, you get the protein from it, etc. You just do a little bit each day. And then same with the spirulina. I'll put just a little bit in every smoothie I make, and so it's like creamy sort of texture, the spirulina, and seems to the spirulina really seems to give it a thickness. And then I'm putting it with banana, so the recipe is really just a coffee. Now I'll put stevia with it, which is also antibacterial and anti-Lyme disease, stuff like this. So it's got its antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral sort of properties, mainly antibacterial. Stevia is the strongest part of it. And so then I've got the teas, which I store in here, those ones I pulled out of the boiling water and showed you, the cascara de molle and una de gato or cat's claw. So I'll put those teas in here for up to a week, because they're antifungal and antiviral and antibacterial, etc. So they don't accrete. As you can see, this jar, there's like a tiny bit of like some dried water on the side, but this is from months and months I've had this, and I do that every week. I put my cascara de molle in for about 4 days, then I change the tea, the barks, and I fill this up again, and I'm putting that in my coffee each time. So I get about 8 coffees. 8 coffees I make out of 1 packet of cascara de molle and 1 packet of una de gato, the cat's claw. So they're 2 little packets I buy for like 40 peso each here in Uruguay. It's like $2. And so those $2, the $4 of each packet, $2 of each packet equals $4 for like 4 days. So you get 4 days out of that, and that's really cutting your mucosa membrane. And like I said, also while it cuts, it delivers the right compounds that you need, all the antivirals, the antifungals, etc., antibacterials in this stevia. Now the coffee is also an antioxidant, it's acidic, so putting the banana in the smoothie with the coffee, with the brewed up coffee and tea here is, still going to end up acidic. depending how much coffee you put in, obviously, but like I'm using the coffee tea here as my main water compound or tea compound in my smoothie, so you'll see in a minute when I make it when we get back from the market in a few hours. And so I'm just going to put this now in the fridge to get it cool, or freezer, whatever. And so then I have the cooled down coffee ready with the tea in it. It's got stevia in it, it's got cascara de molle and cat's claw, okay, in this coffee. And it's really quality coffee too. So you get a really big antioxidant effect from this coffee. Actually, it's a really good coffee. It's Juan Valdez and Juan Ramirez Colombian coffee, so it's really quality stuff. And you know, those tree barks, they seem to me like you could kind of replace cinnamon. You could put cinnamon in here as well. That's another tree bark, cinnamon, canela. But these two seem to really work really well and together, and for the purpose of cutting the mucosa membrane. Because my friend Anthony was giving me a link to Life Regenerator, and I've seen a video recently where he was talking about cutting the mucosa membrane, this Life Regenerator YouTube channel, and he was recommending lemon. Yeah, it can cut the mucosa, but like I said, it can also feed amorphous sugar assimilating things like the yeast, like Candida, how they change what sugar they can eat. And yes, lemon gives me a sugary tang in my body, and I would get pain in my jaw when I had my bad tooth too, so I know some sorts of bacteria or something, yeasts, mold, fungus, enjoy lemon sort of sugar. So I can't have too much of it. I actually do not drink lemon water. I tried that years and years ago. Same thing, I can't do it. Gives me a parasitical reaction. So you go the tree barks, because there's no sugar in there and there's nothing to give you a parasitical reaction. There's only the cutting of your membrane and inserting mucosa membrane, and then the cutting of that, and then the inserting of like the plant alkaloids and compounds that you actually want inserted when you're cutting it. You know, lemon doesn't have that. It's not like lemon is the answer for everything, guys, yeah? Like, I see all these like really good health channels and they just repeat what each other say. It's like you can find the same knowledge on all these channels and a little bit of extra stuff, yeah, but so I'm always trying to just do the extra stuff that no one is talking about and covering as much, maybe. But anyway, there's how I mix it up. So you got that stevia in there, don't forget, and that's going to really heal your mouth if you've got any tooth problems. The stevia definitely heals the mouth. Again, it's the opposite of sugar. It's the plant alkaloids and stuff like this, and these bitters. The bitters are the opposite of the sweet, and they really heal. And you notice the sweets in nature, they can give you problems because you can get parasitical, you know, colony creation and stuff like this. And they bolster the parasites. So the opposite are the tannins, the saponins, the alkaloids, the benzene rings, the esters, all of these plant compounds which are the opposite of sugar, which are the bitters, which are just packed in my coffee right now because I've got 3 teas in there, specifically chosen for that reasoning. So what I'll do is I'll put this in a jar, jar, put it in the fridge, and I'll fill it up, and I'm going to end up probably using like this much, like a cup or something, and I'll put it in my magic bullet, and you'll see that scene next. Just in case you don't know what they look like, because I'll have them in the coffee, this is cascara de molle. You can see it's a really rough tree bark, and look, it's just one of those really thick tree barks, and when I realised it, I went, yeah, that's definitely going to have the antifungals and stuff, you know. Trees like this have those compounds so they don't get root rot and stuff out in nature. Then this is the this is the cat's claw or una de gato, and you know that's the immunomodulatory one, the really good one for the immune system. This one, and yeah, I do feel a little kick up in that. But hey, there's things like if you had coca leaf or cocaine leaf, which we've just started getting here in tea. We can get a cocaine leaf tea, which is like that tincture I showed you guys years ago when I had CBD from cannabis. So the upper end, not the lowering feeling of THC, but the uppering feeling of the CBD with the coca leaf and the full coca leaf. So it's not just like, you know, construed cocaine or something. It's the whole coca leaf. And if you can get that, like we can get here in tea, well, that's really good because it makes your heart beat faster and stuff. You can tell the thing's working like within, you know, 30 seconds of it entering your body. And that's really good for your immune system. I feel the kick more on coca leaf than I do on una de gato and even pau d'arco, just to you know, add that in there, because a lot of people have videos on cat's claw and pau d'arco are really good for the immune system, and they'll cover different parts than the coca leaf as well. Don't forget that. That's why we take different plants, because they cover different portions of our systems, of our immune system, of our metabolism, etc. So I always change up what plants I'm using. Also then no bacteria or parasitical action in the body can build up resistance to whatever you're using. However, to do with resistance, one little last note is that this seems to be so anti-resistant for your body. Like, you could keep using this for years without building resistance. This cascara de molle, I can just tell, I can feel it, even more than the cat's claw. Cat's claw and pau d'arco will kind of similar. You might not build up a resistance too quick. And resistance is a factor, remember, because we have to trick ourselves with progesterone if you administer that, you know, to a woman. Or if you're in the sun, you know, all these Africans have built up vitamin D resistance because they're out in the sun all the time. So resistance is one of those big factors of nuances behind health, just like the absorption. I'm always talking about the absorption. So resistance has to do with absorption too, because if I start resisting this from my body, then I'm resisting it. I'm not going to be absorbing it. Okay? So that was just the final little note there. Alright, so super simple. There's the banana in there, and then I've just put that coffee tea mix, see? And then just a little bit of spirulina and chia on top. And I've been rotating this mixture with the coffee and then the hibiscus water, you know, so that I'm not always going acidic like liquid, because that's just the downfall of coffee, its acidity. But anyway, look, I also just wanted to show this because how quick this is. Let's set that up there. So I've just got the magic bullet here, and if you don't know about the magic bullet there, I'm pretty sure that design, the magic bullet, has come from the NutriBullet, because it's got the same blade technology. If we look at the blade technology, so it's got the same blades on there as like the NutriBullet by the looks of it, or very similar. And you know, the ordinary ones, they don't have these flat ones, I'm pretty sure. They usually just have these, right? In those old school ones. So this is going to be a lot better for chopping the food right up. It does beetroot and it does all the hard vegetables, so it's been very good. And I think it's just a little less powerful than the NutriBullet, and it's like the cheaper version, but it works the same. Look, you just put it on. Hold on, I'm just going to angle my camera up so you guys can see. It's just so quick. The reason I wanted to show this is because it's very quick, and a lot of my friends and no one I'm living with here has one, and you know, a lot of people I've met in the past don't have this, and this is the way to do it because it's so quick. Watch, no cleaning, you drink straight from there. Just a great design. And just done so quick, you know, that's why I wanted to show you guys that, because it's just super quick. All I've got to clean is this. I'm going to drink this, and then I just need to clean that. And just 2 bits to clean, not like a juicer where you have to take the whole thing apart. So I just wanted to show that, and oh, you don't have to put the spirulina in. People trip out because of the colour and they don't like greens. I like it. You know, the spirulina, sorry, this is chlorella actually. So it's pretty similar to spirulina. The powdered algae cyanobacteria, I think it's a cyanobacterium, the chlorella and the spirulina. And you know, you don't have to put that in there, but it's like 50% protein, or like, you know, 40-30% protein, more than meat anyway. more than cooked meat, and probably you're closing in on, you know, raw meat protein really in spirulina and chlorella. Plus I got banana in there anyway, so it gives you a little bit of a protein bounce too. And the chia seeds. So, you know, you've got actual like a protein in there, like it's going to be filling for a few hours, you know, so you don't have to go eat a steak every 2 hours. And yeah, just don't forget that this is acidic, so you want to change the coffee with teas. Although I already had tea, 3 different types of tea in there, don't forget, okay? So that's it. I just wanted to show you guys that, especially because this magic bullet is just like, I just got this new and it's just super quick. So a lot of people are like not doing it, in my opinion, not doing smoothies and stuff because the old bulky, you know, smoothie makers and drink makers don't work so good. But so, you know, look for this with this technology, and you know, it really seems to work. If you don't know how that came about, I'm pretty sure the magic bullet is connected to the NutriBullet, which was brought out by that David Wolf fella. So he's someone to listen to in some talks as well, has some good nutrition info. So I'll leave you with that.